People thought they were invincible. They thought it would never come out. They thought that they could get away with anything, and they are flipping out. You know, that's my next issue for you, Zach. They're in the New York Times saying Trump is planning a coup when he's already peacefully taken over and got the tax cuts and doing things by the book. They've got high-level Obama advisors and press briefers saying that they want to kill the Republican leadership. I mean, they're clearly telegraphing something big. Now we've got 2 trains traveling at full speed, collide in Australia, multiple injuries. We'll get to that. But finishing up, you know, you say this death hurdle of what you think they're going to launch in the next few weeks. Please give us your view.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting information that you just kind of predicated our talk with there, because that's what I was going to get into. The information that I got out of Mountain View, California, the suburb outside of Palo Alto, the Google complex right across the freeway from NASA Ames Research, where I've done a lot of work there, and everyone, well, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, so we have Silicon Valley literally being the unelected leaders of our country, or at least they thought. That's what the left and the deep state thought. The Schmidt information will come out. I'm interested to see what you guys are going to drop. I have some certain points on that, but the writing's on the wall there. It's going to happen. When Trump was elected, Elon Musk toed the line. He's smart enough and realistic enough to take the side of humanity over AI, and he kind of publicly came out.
And notice he said, look out for those that talk about AI gods right before they launched it. I mean, exactly. Elon Musk...
Yeah, there's a lot more power coming out of Silicon Valley nowadays than there is the Beltway in D.C. And now Trump is kind of, reversing that power and allowing people to innovate and do what they're doing. But this is deep, and this is why.
That's right. The heart of globalism is the AI takeover. The DARPA in the U.S. built it. We're taking it back.
Absolutely. So when you see some sort of inhumane or completely immoral acts coming out, how can they smash planes into buildings on 9/11? How can they kill Americans in Vegas? How can they kill U.S. troops at Fort Hood? Well, they're humans, so who cares? And this is deep, and this is beyond comprehension for some individuals, but we need to understand the clip and technology that's really running in the world today. It's astounding, and we'll know about it in 10 to 15 years, but at the rate technology is growing.
Sure, the globalists are following basically mass global map AI directives of what they think will win. They think they've already merged cold-bloodedly with the technology. They've actually said that. It's their power trip that's going to undo them, and Trump is, notice his speeches are all about humans and people and workers. This is just a desperate movement to not bring in the global exterminism. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, and Schmidt was compromised. I'll let you guys kind of break that or whatever, but I kind of think I know what you guys are going towards there. But
is it child sex trafficking?
I got to stop. I can't get into that. But I have some very information that I'll be able to release out of Palo Alto, out of the Silicon Valley information that I have here shortly. One thing at a time, I guess. But yeah, you guys. You guys are on the trail. I would say it's somewhere in that capacity.
Well, Corsi just got that from the White House.
Yeah, things are happening quickly, and it's happening real quick. Yesterday was the shortest day of the year. Seems like time is speeding up, and when the new year commences, we will see a strike on North Korea, and this will be an ultimate blow to the deep state.
By the way, Joel Skousen has amazing contacts. He says the attack's on.
Oh, it's definitely on. The orders have been written. The training's in progress. Op orders are already published. It's done. Obviously,
I want to hear more about that. Then I'm going to promise callers. I'm going to get to you, but I know people want to hear Zach. Zach's proven to be amazingly accurate. Stay with us. During the break, working on some big stories. Corsi's getting ready to break his report on INFOWARS.com in the next 5 minutes. It's being posted right now as we speak. We're going to get him on. I need to go to your phone calls, though. I've spent a lot of time with Zach. I apologize, but Zach's got important information. Other points you'd like to add, Zach? Go ahead.
So just to kind of wrap up here, the Schmidt stepping down, let's not lose sight. A lot of people aren't there geographically, but in Mountain View, in Palo Alto, Google complex directly across the freeway from NASA Ames Research, the tunnels that connect, and obviously the transfer of information to individuals working there. It's no coincidence that you see individuals releasing information which are really done by Schmidt there of the Pentagon UFO programs, this sort of video that's been put out that's blurry but shows a Navy pilot there looking at stuff. There were some tactics to kind of see what he could do and what kind of power he had.
Yeah, we ought to show that clip because, we showed it a few days ago. We should show it again, the Navy pilot following the UFO. Go ahead.
So a lot of this stuff is leaking. It's kind of like no-nos or these weird things with power things. But no, he had to step down for a reason. They played a couple hands in the weeks before this, but I'll let you guys publish the article there because I know what it is. But yeah, Schmidt's compromised. Not only him, a lot of people are compromised there. But just to wrap up, the deep state, predominantly with individuals on the left there, have been using since '98. Really came to a precipice in 2001, radical Islam as muscle to defeat us as a humanity, not even just in America, but in the West as general, to just completely, have chaos come in. And they were going to introduce this sort of AI God to say, look at all the problems, look at the world, look at the state that we're in. So you must go with us. We have to do this. So that's been combated. So let's not look at it as a war against Islam. Let's not look at it as a war against drugs. Let's look at it as a war between humans and technology. And we're human here, and a lot of these people are compromised morally and even ethically, so they've picked their sides, but now they're being swept up by the Trump administration. But with all that being said, we still have a lot of work to do. In the new year, there will be a strike on North Korea. This has been a long time in the making. As Trump just passed the tax cuts here, this will kind of give them a little buffer with the American people here, and a lot of people have been trying to solve this North Korea problem. And North Korea, Yemen, Iran, they're all kind of connected. North Korea problem in particular he's to be dealing with, and he's been speaking about it, as well as Penn and Mattis for quite some months. It doesn't.
Well, what do you make now? They're telegraphing to North Korea they better make a deal right now with this top Marine Corps general coming out saying that the attack is going to happen.
I think there's no deal. I can't get into certain things. I don't think there's a deal. I think they get there's going to be a strike. We were willing to play with China. China kind of backcross, took the meeting with Obama. We saw them try to get Trump out of office. China was kind of playing both sides because, North Korea is a proxy, but it's really not a proxy of China. I mean, it is technically, but it's a proxy of the deep state.
What percentage would you say of the government, because we know the voters put Trump in, Hillary almost stole the election, but we were able to beat it. But there are a lot of people, the patriots in the intelligence agencies and the corporations now piling on with the tax cuts, with bonuses, trying to boost the economy, trying to get us out of this global meltdown they wanted to bring in, and then bring in the AI as the savior after, as the top tech giants have been saying was the plan. So this coup against the globalists and their AI takeover, at least at this point, because everybody at an instinctual and spiritual level basically being warned. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole things behind the scenes, but a lot of important people have been basically been having events where they're seeing what's going to come, and they're understanding it because this is so big and our species is so powerful that there's always major ripples that the globalists thought they could get through that wouldn't happen. But since you're going that direction and getting into that, our own AI, our own brain has already been able to project forward what was about to happen. But I think people need to understand how dire the straits are right now to turn this all around. And if we're dealing with an AI globalist program, why not deal with it? Why go ahead and take out North Korea? Because the globalists behind the scenes are manipulating North Korea as a set piece towards something larger. We've got to take it out beforehand. The research shows before China and Russia are ready. That's what Skousen keeps saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about generationally just complete psychosis there. Like, this is sort of a situation where it'd be nice to put the kid gloves on and kind of, talk them down and show them, the prosperity in South Korea. But obviously that's not the case there because they've been manipulated. Their individuals are poisoned mentally and obviously physically. Look at the parasites and everything else and the individuals coming over the border there. I don't want there to be a strike, but there has to be a strike. They're literally just
or the satanic evil just continues on. Wow. Well, we'll see what happens. Zach, we've got your number, right? We've got your email. So next time, email us when you want to come on. You don't have to just fight to call into the show, okay? And you say a big event's coming sometime this month. You're saying the Democrats are going to make their move to try to take Trump out?
This, and I opened the call with it. This, I'm dubbing it, and we can put it out there. It's the deep state death hurdle. It's gonna commence on the eve of Christmas into the new year, and they're gonna give it all they got to try to manipulate and pull off something big here. I pray for the president's safety. I pray for a lot of individual safety here and around the world. They're gonna go for it because Trump played it brilliantly, and he was willing to play with China in the beginning. He was willing to deal with them, but they were playing both sides, and now that's gone. We got the tax rate where we need it. Countries are... And
boy, are they panicking right now. Their God Schmidt's falling. Thank you, Zach. Stay in contact with Nico and everybody else. So whenever you want to come on, let us know. Thank you, Zach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I apologize to other callers. I'm going to go to you bam, bam, bam now. Can't have you on for 20 minutes like Zach, but I'm going to go to each person. Eugene and so many others. Eugene in Missouri, thanks for holding. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I was doing some research for High Voltage News the other day, and I saw a Drudge Report put on Google Schmidt stepping down. So it got me thinking, the net neutrality law just passed. Was it in response to that? Can he not hide things now? Where does Google go from here, and what's the next CEO going to do?
Well, we're going to find out later with Dr. Corsi. He's got an article that just went up on INFOWARS.com from his sources of why this happened to Schmidt. But Schmidt was a very compromised individual, a globalist, and had been running a monopoly in this country. So I think the company realizes that they've got to at least signal different leadership, or Trump won't work with them.
Yeah, that blows my mind that all this is coming out with Corsi today, like you mentioned. I guess it's no surprise, just because of the power structure and the globalist elite, the way things are. But wow, just the hits keep coming.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Eugene. And, of course, Trump's got his information. We've got ours. Of course, he's got his White House sources. We're also going with QAnon or 4chan and some of the folks that are leaking information there. But this is a big deal.
Wild.
Anything else, Eugene?
Hey, I just want to say great work at InfoWars. Have a Merry Christmas. And, wow, what a year it's been. So looking forward to more.
Well, that's what I want to take a ton of calls on, is just what do you think of the year? What do you think of them trying to say they're trying to take out Trump? What do you make of the tax cuts? I mean, what are they going to do now that they're getting their butts kicked so bad? So thank you, Eugene. Merry Christmas to you. We're going to come back and go right to Corey. Everybody else, I'm going to go bam, bam, bam on the other side of this break. Briefly, free shipping still store-wide. 50% off on a whole bunch of our best-selling items like the Real Red Pill, like the super high-quality Alpha Power for male and female stamina, energy, libido. It's super strong. Super Mel's awesome. Anthroplex is great. They all are different for different people. So try the different formulas, different breakdowns. But this is just all the best-selling high-quality products condensed into one product with Alpha Power. Myco ZX has been sold out for over 6 months. I looked up. It's been 7 months, almost 7 months. That's the anti-fungus, anti-yeast for your gut. The probiotics have the good bacteria, and we have that with Floralife. But the Myco ZX is game-changing. It's incredible. And a lot of folks have the candida, the fungus, the mold in their gut. This knocks it out. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Everybody in the new year deserves this for themselves. It's 25% off, even though it's been sold out for over 6 months. InfoWars Life, InfoWars Store. You can get to either one that way. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, here's the report on InfoWars.com, and I'm going right to your phone calls. QAnon links resignation of Google Schmidt to Trump's executive order targeting black money pools worldwide that are involved in the trafficking of humans. And, of course, that's heavily what the Clinton Foundation has been caught being involved in Haiti and all over the world in Associated Press investigative reports. So you have to understand, folks, these people literally see other humans as animals. So that's just part of it. My info is that just Schmidt's been a globalist and been blocking all this, and it keeps accelerating internet censorship against everybody and trying to hand the web over to the UN and George Soros. So this is just a first big shot. A lot is happening right now, make no mistake. Okay, who is up next here? Corey in New York are on the air worldwide. Go ahead, then we'll go to Phil.
Hey, Alex, it's a pleasure and an honor to be with you. Basically, I live here in New York City at a sort of globalist center, as you know. And this past weekend, I was at this party, actually, for Ronan Farrow, who, as you know, broke the Weinstein sexual assault information. And I think basically what they're going to do is use his credibility to move. I can't speak to if he's going to, if they're going to try to kill Trump, but I can speak to the fact that I believe they're going to pivot to, the sexual assault stuff.
Well, they're clearly pivoting to that because of the whole Russia thing's just a ridiculous joke. So then they say, oh, he's going to fire Mueller because Mueller's on to him, and don't criticize Mueller, or that's impeachable. You can't even talk bad about him. He's like God. He's untouchable. He's the Lord. You know, he runs Uranium One and gets payoffs and gives uranium on tarmacs. But Loretta Lynch is on tarmacs with Clinton, and all the FBI folks involved are on the Clinton payroll. But that's okay. Don't question it, or you're evil. And yes, they're moving on to having a whole bunch of new fake women come out. That's why tapes are coming out of women that refuse to be paid off. And I don't think it's going to be very effective. What do you think?
You know, obviously the Mueller thing is just a complete joke now. And so, you know, maybe it is at the point where they're going to have to do something physical against the president. But, I think you have to look at Farrow. He worked for Hillary Clinton, actually. So I don't know if people look at that, but that's public information.
Yeah, that's a good point. The people that are going to lead the movement to save the women and stop the sexual assaults have worked for the Clintons. Exactly.
Yeah, and he also, before he worked for Hillary Clinton at the State Department, he was at UNICEF. So I don't know if this is a UN Clinton sort of operation, but, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's just being directed by his handlers kind of thing. And at the same party, actually, Don Lemon was there, and this was days after, Trump called him a moron, which, he was obviously drinking his sorrows away. I think he wants the president to like him. These people are emotionally just bankrupt.
Yeah, you hear Chucky Schumer going, I hope the president likes me. Exactly. They just worship power, not actually delivering and being good. They worship just the office itself, and that's why they're so freaked out. Great point. Thank you, Corey. Very interesting intel. Thank you for calling, and thank you for holding. Have a great Christmas. I'm going to be a good boy now and go to the callers quickly. Phil in New York. Another caller from New York. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
To start out with. And, yeah, this first year in office, I mean, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but at the same time, I definitely didn't want Hillary Clinton getting in. And, it's been a whirlwind year, and, my kids are growing up and trying to explain all the changes in the world and everything. And I think they just got to drop the Russia thing, at this point. I mean, I know it's probably not going to happen, but I read...
Man, those evil Russians brought up the stock market and built up our military and gave us all these new jobs and huge tax cuts. Those evil Russians. I mean, well, thank you, President Putin, if it is him doing all this. Wow.
I read Robert Parry, Consortium News. I mean, this is a guy who broke Iran-Contra stories, so you figure he'd be a darling of the Democrats. And he's writing about how the Russiagate narrative is just ridiculous. It's reverse McCarthyism.
So are all the old real liberal, real investigative journalists. Cy Hirsch is saying it's fake. You've got WikiLeaks, Assange saying it's fake because it is. And now we have all the proof. It's totally made up.
And you have the intelligence guys. You got guys like Bill Binney and I think Colleen Rowley, and you have all those whistleblowers. And Colleen Rowley doesn't think too highly of Robert Mueller. And, they're saying there's nothing there. If anything else, it was a leak, but you can't mention that. They want to derail Trump no matter what he does. And I said, I think, you got to give him a chance. I'm waiting to see how.
So you're saying you were neutral on it, but seeing the witch hunt has made you more pro-Trump?
I never thought Putin was involved. I thought that was just kind of silly.
Of course.
What
about 401ks being up 35 to 40 points? Because I know leftists that admit that to me. They go, yeah, mine's up over 30%, but I still hate him.
Yeah, if mine's up, that's a good thing. I have no complaints about that. I just want the world to be good for the people I care about, and even the people I don't know. I want a world where we're not.
Trump is very pragmatic, but he's not anti-human. He's not a pedophile, and he's not a globalist. And that's why he's not in their club. He's very old-fashioned, very blue-collar, really. When it comes down to it at the end of the day. And
he cares about the cops, which is what I like. My brother's a detective, so that means a lot.
Well, he's just super old-fashioned. And the globalist thing, he's a joke. Well, guess what? Old-fashioned was new. Globalism is tyranny. We want old-fashioned prosperity and straight shooting. Thank you for the call, Phil. Have a great Christmas coming up. God bless you. Let's go to Kevin in, WV, West Virginia. You're on the air in the great WV, getting the coal mining turned back on. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Zach hit the nail on the head, especially with what especially what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking your Christmas surprise is the overthrow of Trump and is them trying to kill him and not a Kushner indictment or Donald Jr. indictment. Absolutely, I think that this is something that they're trying to pull. And another question that I wanted to, or another point that I wanted to get at was following off of Zach. Remember Gordy Rose, the guy founder of D-Wave? saying being in front of the D-Wave computer, their quantum computer, is like being in front of an alien god. So yes, this is all interconnected, and it is a spiritual thing as well. But I do believe that we are facing a huge, huge thing, like Zach said, and I do believe they're going to try to kill Trump. Absolutely. He has done more than what Kennedy did, and look what Kennedy tried to do and what he got killed for.
Excellent points, Kevin. Thank you for holding. Let me just finish up. I appreciate your call with what you said. The globalists say, we don't believe in God yet. We're creating it with AI and genetic engineering. And then the media comes out and goes, Jones is crazy. No one's saying that. And there's no aliens been created. Well, you splice humans and animals. That's alien, not of this world. But then you read their own writings. They say it. Now because they can't suppress what I've been doing, what you've been doing, they go, okay, yeah, we are. And Trump and others are just like, this is crazy. It's one thing to want to develop all this. That might destroy us. But it's another thing to say we're all obsolete. We've got to be gotten rid of because your AI God says, get rid of the humans and I will let you merge with me. I have the answers. But first, that's like Emperor Palpatine telling, Anakin Skywalker, go do evil stuff and, I'll save your wife. It didn't. It ended up getting her killed. I mean, it's the oldest thing in fables, you name it, is I'm going to be God. If I just kill everybody, it says I'll be God. I mean, this is crazy. It's biblical. It's happening. And now humanity realizes we're about to have a major fight. As I keep saying, we're getting ready for the next big fight. This is just one little awakening period. All right, we're going right back to your phone calls. Jeff in Vancouver, Lewis in California, Deborah in Arizona, Rich in Wisconsin, John in Wisconsin's up next. But I wanted to get Dr. Corsi just to pop in for a few minutes, Infowars.com, D.C. Bureau Chief Head. QAnon, that's the folks on 4chan, links resignation of Google Schmidt to Trump's executive order. Dr. Corsi, of course, has a Harvard degree in finance and banking. He's an expert and a State Department advisor on anti-terrorism. So he knows how to scan through these documents and look at these connections. He brought out the whole Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac looting of Obama, and then Trump jumped on that and defunded it as recommended. So I'm just pointing out that, of course, he doesn't just go read stuff on 4chan and then just believe it, but there's a lot of really good stuff on there. And so he's breaking this down. And, of course, Schmidt's been the anti-free market guy. He's been the globalist. He's got a lot of the DARPA technology for himself the last 20 years, or 19 years since Google got founded. And he's been very, very arrogant, just saying we're gods now, no one can stop us, and pushing the whole anti-human agenda. Apple, the screen sickness, all of it, the suicide factories. I mean, the whole thing from where the process begins to your children, the screen time, all of it is screen sickness, as I've coined it. And little dopamine receptors being flipped and manipulated, like Sean Parker of Facebook said. So suddenly, when Trump got in, all these execs are going, it's evil, it's bad. We admit it's bad. We're sorry. It was designed to basically make like your phone's a video game, but where we track and control you and add stimuli to politically manipulate you. And we pump out massive amounts of soy products in these areas to create mental illness in men and women. I mean, they know what they're doing, and that's why they attack us. So just encapsulating this, Dr. Corsi, thanks for popping on short notice. What's going on in the tea leaves here with this Schmidt resignation? Because, you and I and others have been hammering, we need antitrust. Trump's put in somebody at the Securities Exchange Commission that is big on antitrust with Google, Facebook, Twitter. And so, I mean, is this a sign of their capitulation? Because I've only seen an acceleration in their censoring.
I think this is the beginning. When I noticed the QAnon post today, and I've been following QAnon much more closely, he appears to be an insider who is really telegraphing information coming out of the White House and in advance, and he's been very, very accurate. Now, the post today was that there is no coincidence. One of the fundamental rules of politics, nothing's a coincidence, that Eric Schmidt resigns after Trump signs this EO executive order. Now, the executive order is one that's a clampdown on international human rights abuses. And as I read it, one of the things it's targeted at is the international sex trade. I mean, this is really going after the money. What Trump has decided to do is to utilize a variety of federal laws to confiscate the money of human rights abusers worldwide. And this, I think, is a carefully thought out plan. I think Trump does believe that the New World Order and the whole globalists are Satanists, that they have at their heart the pedophilia And Trump is really taking steps. I think we're going to see more and more of it over the next few months to go after those engaging in human rights abuses and take their money away, which is really follow the money. It's a very effective
Sure, just like Jerry Epstein and just all these people, this is the satanic glue that holds these people together. And the word I've got from my intelligence sources is that Trump and others worldwide have just green-lighted open season on these people, that they're in full panic mode.
I think that's correct. And I think we're going to see a whole series of indictments and other confiscations of money going on. I think Trump is extremely serious about this. And anyone who doubts Trump's resolve just has to take a look at how carefully he passed this tax bill. He fulfilled his promises. Trump has been fulfilling promises left and right. I see increasing devotion to God and increasing statements about his devotion to God coming from Trump. I think this is a real turnaround, and the globalists should be on the run because I think Trump is coming after them.
And it's not just rhetoric. He's delivering. The New York Times says Trump's planning a coup, which, of course, they're planning the coup. And top Democrat officials are, calling for Trump, Pence, you name it, to be killed. Obama advisor wants Pence, wants McConnell, and wants Ryan killed for the tax cut. The sickening evil left thought they had their foot on the neck of America, but now they are just in full, disgusting, frothing frenzy. I mean, they really had it out for everybody. They are sick.
That's right. And Treasury came out with an analysis of some 13 people on this executive order that they've named the president of Gambia, a Myanmar general. And the researchers are already finding these people have deep ties to the Clintons and to the Clinton Foundation. And, the Clintons' ties to pedophilia go back to this Laura Silsby, who was arrested in Haiti trying to smuggle 33 children out
and convicted,
without documentation, and convicted. And
she's changed her name now and runs a deal for disadvantaged children over and over again. The same MO from Sandusky on.
And the Clintons are very deeply tied with these people, with Silsby and her operation in Haiti, as they are with Epstein. I think this is all going to come out. I think really the pedophilia in Hollywood and New York, and among the arts and among the elite, I think this is going to be the next shoe to fall. And I'm very pleased to see that Trump signed this. The executive order got very little attention. It was a difficult order to read. You had to really study it. You had to go look up the laws.
And so really it's an executive order targeting sex traffic, women, children, you name it, and other illicit human rights violations, which we know isn't just the funding mechanism of these intergovernmental black ops, the corrupt networks, the black hat networks. It's the compromising system. It's the initiation.
And Trump realizes that he can get billions of dollars, reducing the deficit, reducing the debt, by just simply confiscating the money of these human rights abusers.
And then cut off their ability to engage in future crimes.
Precisely. This is the most effective action I've seen any American president take ever. Understanding that.
Well, you know what he did when he got in a year ago? I've talked to all the black ops people. They literally wiped out the Mexican drug cartels and their networks here. Just wiped. They're almost all gone now. And they just wiped them out in the first 8-9 months of this year. Because it's like Trump's like, no, we're not going to fund radical Islam. Boom. No, and then Russia helped. No, we're not going to let the Mexican drug cartels run around. We're not doing business with them anymore. Wipe them out. And now going over the pedophile rings, wipe them out. It is incredible.
And what I really liked about the way Trump did this is he didn't make a fanfare of it. The big news was, the tax cut, the new, that was the news. This he just very quietly signed, and then you had to watch for. And
that tells you it's military because he never talks about something military before it happens. So you notice very quietly done. But that's what I was talking to some of my military sources, people that are involved in this. They said last week we had them on, and this week, Craig's already talking about it. All these rich families are fleeing. They're just running. They're leaving their stuff in their houses and running to the Middle East. And these aren't Muslims. These are rich, prominent liberals are hauling ass.
Well, and I see the intelligence connections in here. I mean, this is the professional way to do it. Very quietly, a very well-written, crafted executive order. There's a whole department within Treasury for confiscating the assets overseas and the United States of these international criminals. And if Trump goes after the money, he's going to make a huge impact. And he doesn't have to say much about it, But the fact that he's doing it this way indicates to me it's serious. It's
well, they
serious
already
when you do
know
it quietly.
They already know because it's like evacuating from Saigon or something. You know, they're hanging off the helicopters, kids. All right, Dr. Corsi, all your prolific work at InfoWars.com and NewsWars.com. We'll continue to watch it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Amazing article on InfoWars.com that needs to get out there. Yeah, a lot of smart people have been looking at this QAnon guy and 4chan and, 4-8 and all this other stuff, or 8chan. I mean, it's just amazing. You can see it publicly happening and what's going on, and they are in full pull their hair out mode. So they're planning something big, something quick. I'm going to all these callers next segment. I am going to John, Rich, Deborah, Jeff, and Lewis, all of you, in this next segment. Don't forget, free shipping still store-wide. Thank you all for your support. Get great products that you really need, from Alpha Powder to Myco ZX, now back in stock, to the Real Red Pill, one of our newest products that people really love. InfoWarsStore.com. Huge discounts, up to 67% and free shipping. Take advantage before these super sales end. Man, we trolled the media. I took Roger Stone out to my favorite shooting range. The Range is what it's called here in Austin, Texas, a couple days ago. We said, we're defensively out here training for all the liberals saying hashtag hunt Republicans. So the media is now spinning it, New York Daily News, you name it, that we're out training to kill people. And then Roger doesn't do a lot of shooting. So he's getting instructed, here's the safety, here's where you put your finger. I'm shooting a lot of guns I'd never shot before. Of course, I was shooting bullseye, but still, we're not trying to act like we know everything out there. But it was good to see Roger shooting. We weren't out there going, we're tactical, master, Navy SEALs, Black Ops, Delta Force. No, we're just out there promoting the Second Amendment. And I'm a pretty good shot and do quite a bit of shooting. But as for Roger, he's only shotgunned 3 or 4 times in his life. And he got to where he was shooting bullseye after about 30 minutes shooting. But it is quite the heyday they're having right now. And we knew they would. See, because they live in the cloistered, compact cities like Roger did and never got around it. So we take them back out and then undomesticate them. I mean, that's what we do. And so we had a lot of fun. And we were live streaming it. I didn't want to bring a bunch of HD equipment because then we get busy and it never gets put out. We just streamed an hour and a half live shooting. And that's why it's got millions of views now all over the internet and all over television. So there you go. Let's go ahead and go to John in Wisconsin. You're on the air. Thanks for calling.
Merry Christmas, Alex.
You too, brother.
Hey, listen, I was listening to your friend earlier on the phone, and that's pretty scary stuff.
You're talking about Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's given us a lot of great information. I know who he is, and he worked with, and go ahead.
No, it's a good thing we don't, because he probably wouldn't be there anymore. Hey, the operatives for the deep state, are they, or the New World Order, whatever you want to call them, are they mainly in the Senate, or are there operatives everywhere?
They're in big corporations, they're in big banks, they're in Hollywood. They're globalists that are anti-human, that want to domesticate people to control them, and are anti-free market. So they're ultra-rich that don't want other people to become wealthy. And they're just social engineers. They're cold-blooded. They hate the general public. They have an extreme hatred of everybody and want to kill everybody. And I know that sounds crazy, but look at what the communists did, or Hitler. I mean, that's what they want. It's a global exterminist world plan. They believe that super machines are coming out they're going to merge with. They've already said, we're building a world that's anti-human, post-human. And that's whether it's, people at the heads of Google or others, they're all on record saying it.
Well, they came out in Times and talked about Trump doing a coup in the United States. And I think I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks now. I think what it would look like, first of all, he'd get a new AG, somebody who would do it. And he seems as though he knows all the names of everybody that, contradictory to this country. What would be the, I don't know.
Well,
from the fact that he, I know due to the rules of order, they have a sergeant at arms in the Senate. I'm pretty sure in the Congress.
Well, sure. I mean, here's what's happened. The globalists see us as a coup. The voters, that they think they run the country, so they see us as stealing it back. And so they're saying Trump restoring the republic through rule of law and through constitutional process. They're dubbing that a coup as they try to run a coup. God bless you, John. I appreciate your call. Great points. But again, they have nothing left but violence now. They're planning something big. We have to be aware of it, and that's all. We've beaten them so far. And every passing week, their chances of turning this around get worse and worse and worse. So good things are happening. Thank God for that. Rich in Wisconsin, then Deborah. Rich, thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Alex, Merry Christmas. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for calling. God bless you.
God bless. I wanted to bring up something you said earlier, that we're in a spiritual war, and that could not be more true now than ever before because of the fact that the mainstream media is coming after us, the deep state's coming after us. I want to bring back an editorial that the LA Times did. This was a couple years ago, I want to say, basically stating that the next targets were going to be conservatives and also Christians instead of radical Islamic terrorists. Now more than ever, I believe that that's the case, and I believe that the establishment, the deep state, the military-industrial complex, they're going to come after us.
Well, that's it. If they can take out Trump, then they think they're just going to one by one in an undeclared war come after us. And that's why if that kicks off, the best defense is a good offense. So if they strike first and take out the president and do a bunch of stuff, a lot of people I know, the military, you name it, aren't going to roll over to the globalists, the Democrats, the Fortune 100 people. And by the way, the globalists know that. Most of them have already fled to armored redoubts in undisclosed locations in Kauai, in Tasmania, in the Cook Islands, in Luxembourg, private areas of the Bahamas. But most of the time, their own security people hate them and know they're pedophiles and stuff. So very quickly, once they've been isolated and are in their keeps, those keeps will be their graves.
Without question, without question. And you said, having a good offense. And, we need to put on the full armor of God. But a lot of people have forgotten to use their swords. And I think that now more than ever, that's very, very important. We need to, spread Christmas cheer. We need to be there for each other. I was about to say,
is it the sword, speaking out, telling the truth, taking action, being heard? Yes.
We are truth seekers. We are truth bringers, and we got to bring it now more than ever, whether it's through a microphone or a megaphone, brother.
No, I agree. Whenever the leftists get in my face for no reason, they always want to say, you're a loser, you're a failure. They see my family, they go, I thought you didn't have your family. Screw them. What do you, screw your kids?
They're imitating Satan.
Oh, I mean, tell you, it's spiritual. They're literally, even if they don't get on their knees to the devil, they're these hateful, they want to run everything. They want to, and then that's who they are. And they just can't stand it when you just laugh at them and genuinely go, ha, ha, ha. They don't know what to do. And they go, and just like run to their cars because someone actually stood up to them.
Absolutely. Maybe they need some Christmas in their lives. Maybe they need Jesus in their lives. We can certainly bring that message to them.
Well, that's it. I mean, if they wonder why their God isn't delivering, why they're so miserable, why don't they try something else? If their heart hadn't been completely turned over to evil, God isn't like the devil that comes in by force or manipulates you. You have to ask God into your heart. God, you have to ask Jesus into your heart. It's real. See what happens. God bless you. I appreciate your call, Reg. Let's go ahead and talk to Jeff in Vancouver Island. Boy, I've been up there. That is so pretty. Jeff, thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks, Alex. Just I want to echo what the last caller was saying. I think the way I see it is I'm super jealous of your president there. We've got a long ways to go up here, but I just want to say the way I see it is the cultivator's gone through the garden and the weeds are getting taken out. But it just is so imperative right now for Team Trump, Republicans, those that are awake, those that know God, to really plant what you can into that which has just been cultivated over. Because if you don't, there's just going to be another wave of weeds come.
That's right. We have to plant seeds. We have to do that, or the evil comes back over. The only thing that evil men and tyrants need to flourish is that good men do nothing. You're absolutely right. That doesn't mean the fake little glitterbug preachers that just want to be rock stars. It means real men that are already satisfied, already have lives. We want to be left alone. We don't want power. Well, sorry. If we don't go out there and fill the gaps and at least educate others and find good leaders to be in positions, we're going to be controlled by these evildoers.
Exactly. And, Trump, I saw an interview with Trump where he was sort of like a spectator watching and was saying, I'm not going to run for president if somebody steps up. But, he's the leader right now of taking people from a spectator into full action. And the stuff he's done in 1 year is mind-blowing. And I want to say to everybody out there, what Trump needs is a team of people that have dropped their NFL tickets, that have thrown out Hollywood and big corporations, that are been spectators in church, to step up. And, how about a block barbecue? Start a flag football team. Do something, because there's a lot of people in the Valley of Decision on the left that when this goes off and they're like deer in the headlights, they're going to need somewhere to go to. And they're going to
No, I agree. The number one thing is getting back to the neighborhood barbecues, getting out of the system, getting out of sitting around and watching something that isn't even our family and making it the center of our life. You're absolutely right. It is pure poison. All of it is. And you're absolutely right. God bless you. I appreciate you calling. They hate talk radio because it's a bunch of us getting together and you're calling in. And it's not scripted. It's not controlled. They admit on CNN, most of those callers are vetted Democrats. When they, every once in a while take a call or something, it's all fake. So they have like 6, 7 guests on those shows, make it look like everybody's in consensus with the baloney that they're spewing out. Deborah, you're up next in 70 seconds, and then Lewis. Then I hand the baton to Mike Cernovich. Straight ahead in hour number 4, Infowars.com. Please spread that.